It is so beautiful out here today. I'm heading out to shake the dust off of my Overland camping setup. Most of the gear is new, but a lot of it is carryover stuff from my prior minivan camper. And so I wanted to just get out, get everything sorted out. This will give me the chance to get my bearings straight before the spring. And I tell you what, it is such a beautiful day. It feels like spring is in the air. The temperature right now is 64 degrees, and I think the low is going to be 50 degrees Fahrenheit tonight. I haven't really had the chance to get out camping lately because I had a work trip come up that took me away for a few weeks, and then I recently got a surgery that I've been putting off for almost a year, and I'm so glad that I got it done. It took a lot of time to recover. I'm still actually recovering right now, so I'm going to take it easy tonight while we're out here. In between all of that stuff that I've had going on, I've upgraded quite a bit in the Jeep Gladiator. I added my deck drawer system, I added my mini fridge and my slider, I added some storage, but I've been feeling the calling of getting out here in the wilderness so I can just test everything out and see how everything is going so far. I don't have one critical piece of equipment that I really want to put the seal on the completion of this build, and that is my rooftop tent. I decided to go with the cheapest clamshell rooftop tent that I could find on Amazon, and I will be getting that in the next few weeks. The reason that I selected the one that I chose, the Nature Nest, is because it has a ABS plastic roof, so I won't have to deal with any bag when I'm opening it, and it will fit perfectly on top of my bed rack that I have. So that's expected to arrive in the next week or so, and I'm really pumped about getting that installed. I'm out here on this dirt road, and I just heard a couple of gunshots. I honked my horn, and I hope that they heard me. I do see a side-by-side up ahead, so I'm going to just pull up and just say hi to these guys and just see what they're up to. But I may end up having to go to a different road just to be safe. You guys just getting zeroed in or something?
Something like that.
All right. Which way you guys shooting? That way or?
We're done.
Oh, you're done?
What are you up to?
Just cruising around, enjoying myself.
That's a pretty Jeep to be scratching it up.
It's a lot of fun though, you know?
Yeah.
Not as fun as that thing is though, that Ranger.
Yeah.
I might do some camping tonight, but this is the best spot. That's why I was heading this way, but I didn't want to disturb you guys if you're hunting.
No, you're good. That's a pretty cool Jeep.
Yeah, I'm rigging it out to go camping in it so I can go traveling and stuff. And
yeah. So what's that in the back?
Hey guys, so I ran into some folks out here. They were just testing out their shotgun that they got ready for turkey season coming up. And the gentleman here is going to actually show me a route that I can't go down on my Jeep because it's not on the motor vehicle use map, but he's got a side-by-side which is an off-road vehicle, so we're going to go check it out, and I haven't seen it before.
There's your hill.
That's pretty steep, huh?
Oh yeah. You can film her.
maybe 30% grade there. So is this thing four-wheel drive?
Yeah.
So I absolutely love running into folks while I'm out on these trails. It's really a great way to meet new people. And so whenever I pass somebody, it's so few and far between out here that I like to stop, say hi, introduce myself, and get to know whoever I am encountering on these trails. Some folks aren't super friendly, but the guys I just ran into, super friendly, great guys. And because I introduced myself, I was able to go for a little ride in a side-by-side, Ranger side-by-side, and just go out and check out a place that I've never been before. Now, unfortunately, where I'm at, and due to the season, most of the forest and stuff around me is, you know, brown and dead. But in the next few months, as spring starts to blossom and summer kicks in, it's gonna get hot, the bugs are gonna come out, but the scenery is going to be absolutely beautiful. So these hunters were at the spot basically where I want to set up my camp tonight. I'm going to be about 100 feet off the road here. I'm going to go ahead and just stick with what I originally planned. Occasionally, if I run into folks that I'm not familiar with, I will change up my plans just a little bit to you know, put them off my track or whatever. But these guys seem friendly enough, and I don't imagine there's any reason they'll have to come out here and visit me in the middle of the night. And I want to put myself right between these two trees. So I feel like I have some pretty good nutrition going on today. I've got these teriyaki noodles. They're probably not the healthiest, but over here I've got a giant ribeye steak. I've got mushrooms, onions, and green and yellow bell peppers, and they are sauteing up nice while this steak cooks perfectly. Well, that meal's pretty much done cooking, and it smells amazing. So I didn't bring anything to grab this cast iron skillet, so I'm going to use my paper towels. Go ahead and double those up. But this is definitely something I want to add to my kitchen utensil set. That way I can enjoy everything out of this cast iron skillet. And the best thing about making my food this way is all I really have to do is just wipe off the skillet when I'm done, and all the olive oil is actually going to just continue to lubricate that cast iron skillet for my next use. I will, of course, give it a good scrub when I get home, but because I'm following leave no trace principles, unfortunately I'm not going to actually clean my skillet out here because I don't want to make any more of a mess than I normally would have to. So I'd say the absolute best part about camping today is it's not super cold, but the bugs haven't come out yet. And so I'm gonna have a great night sleeping out here, but I'm not gonna have to worry about bugs crawling in my sleeping bag while I'm sleeping. I don't have my rooftop tent with me tonight. I am gonna wait for the rooftop tent before I camp with the tent again. So tonight I'm just gonna kick my cot out and sleep in my sleeping bag under the stars. So you know the saying, my eyes were bigger than my belly? Well, I'm only gonna eat half of this steak tonight. I'm gonna move on to my teriyaki noodles because I'm getting kind of full and I don't want to eat the whole 1 pound steak or whatever this is. I can save the rest for tomorrow, and it'll be just fine in that fridge overnight. A lot of folks often ask why I don't make campfires when I come out to places like this. And the honest reason is, if you look around me in my background here, there's leaves everywhere. And so if I do make a campfire, it's got to be something that I can keep my eyes on 100% of the time and be able to put out if it gets out of control. And since I don't have a whole lot of water with me today, I didn't want to start a fire that if it gets out of control, I'll be running around trying to stomp it and put it out when I can just, you know, not deal with it or have to worry about it at all. It feels a little bit like I'm losing my voice. I don't know if it's from the change in the weather or, you know, other stuff that's going on. But one thing I can tell you for sure is I definitely prefer that steak over this teriyaki noodles. But I don't want to let it go to waste, so I'm going to go ahead and enjoy it the best that I can. The sun is starting to set on me, so in a second here I've got to quit flapping my gums and get my camp set up for the night. That was some good food and I am full, so I'm going to get my stuff packed up. That way in the morning I can make my coffee and then hit the road. So I'm standing on what I think is a really good flat spot. So I'm just gonna pull out my cot and set up my bed for the night right here. The other thing this gives me is I am surrounded by leaves. So if an animal or a person comes up on me in the middle of the night, I'll be able to hear the crinkling of the leaves, and that should do a pretty good job of waking me up. Now I'm just going to take the next few minutes and try to and get myself on a nice level spot. And I'm also checking all the trees so that I can see if any trees might be leaning towards me. That way if they fall over in the middle of the night, they don't crush me while I'm sleeping. So I brought my full 3-piece sleep system with a bivy cover, but I think that's going to be a little bit overkill as the low is only supposed to be 51 degrees tonight. So mandatory, I've got my cheetah print, leopard print camo pillow. This thing is essential for when I camp out. And then I've just got this old Big Agnes. It's a 40 degree rated sleeping bag that I'm going to use tonight. And so this should be plenty to keep me warm. And I'll layer down as appropriate as I get to sleep later. And like I said, when I get my tent soon, I'm going to obviously start sleeping in my tent. It's just, there's a 0% chance of rain tonight. And I'm not, you know, saying that that means it absolutely will not rain, but I'm not too worried about getting a little wet on tonight's trip. It seems like every night before the sun sets, the wind just goes absolutely wild. So when I was cooking my dinner earlier and eating my dinner, the wind was blowing pretty hard. But now that the sun is over the horizon, it's calmed down quite a bit. There is still a little bit of a breeze, but it's not as wild as it was just about 20 minutes ago. I got a pretty decent walk in earlier and I'm just out here relaxing. What I'm gonna do, I think, for the next hour or so is just chill out, enjoy the breeze, and read a book that I've been reading on my phone. The moon is not out and where I'm at is gonna be very dark. So I plan to set up my camera with just a little light on time lapse just so I can capture myself sleeping through the night. Who knows, maybe I'll see something in the video like a coyote or something walking by in the middle of the night. Before I settle down too much, it is getting a little chilly, so I'm gonna put my second layer on, which is just a flannel shirt, and then my beanie. And between all of this stuff and that sleeping bag, that should be plenty to keep me warm throughout the night. So I am still a little new to this Jeep culture, and I haven't really gotten out and done any insane or wild, you know, rock crawling or anything like that on the Jeep yet. But I hope over the next few months that I'll be able to get some pretty good rock crawling type of adventures under my belt. And when I get the rooftop tent, what I can do then is bring my kids out, let my kids sleep in the rooftop tent, and I can just sleep in the cot, and that way we're all comfy and cozy and they're protected from any of the elements that I wouldn't want them to be exposed to. I'm gonna have to pull out the owner's manual and read about how to turn off this dome light because I don't want the dome light on at night. The bugs aren't out right now, but in a few weeks, if I'm out like this and the dome light is on, I open this door, it's gonna fill up and attract bugs immediately. That's just something I don't wanna have to deal with, so I don't know, maybe let me know in the comments. How the heck do you turn this dome light off when the doors are open? So I've been using this Bluetti AC2A to keep my stuff charged while I'm on the go, and I've charged my phone probably 5 or 6 times and I'm down to 65% on this little portable power station. So I used quite a bit of power today filming. I tried to use my iPhone because it's like the least capable of all of my cameras, but it's always the most convenient. And so a lot of times I'll just pull that out, point, and start filming. And so this is one of the cameras that, even though it's not the best, it is the most convenient and it just keeps me going. So there's really no better way that I could have spent today. I got to get out, I got to see a little bit of the outdoors. I didn't have to work myself too hard because, as I said, I am recovering from a surgery, and this is honestly the best way for me to get out, clear my mind, reset. Well guys, it's amazingly peaceful out here. I'm gonna pull out my book on my phone, read that for a little bit, and then I'm gonna get some sleep. That way I can get up early in the morning tomorrow, get back to my family, and then go enjoy a really nice day with them. I'll see you guys in the morning. Well, guys, the coyotes are out there yipping, so I'm gonna go ahead and hop up into the bed of the Jeep. That way I don't have to fight off 15 coyotes in the middle of the night. They don't sound like they're too far away either, so. All right, guys, so I moved back up into the bed rack, and I think I'm pretty good where I'm at right now. I am not gonna set the time lapse up for the rest of the night, so I'm just gonna call it a night, get some sleep, and I've got the cot around my feet on the end of the bed here. That way, if those coyotes do get too close, you know, I'll have some standoff to keep them away from me. Well, sunrise was 6:35 and it is 6:35. I heard a couple of coyotes yipping last night after I moved up into the bed here, but nothing like that first time. I'm sure it wasn't that many, but it sounded like 15 or 20 coyotes. Probably was only like 5, but you know, when you're sitting out there in the middle of the cot in the middle of the forest here like a freshly rolled sausage, a couple coyotes can sound like a lot. Tell you what, it's a beautiful morning out here, and I'm ready to get some coffee going. So the truck bed's only 5 feet long, and I'm 5'9", and so I just put this on the end, put that right there so that I could keep my feet from dangling off the edge. So it's just long enough. And then this is very makeshift, but I had just put that there in case the coyotes showed up. Maybe it would provide one little obstacle for them to have to hop up onto. I'm more confident with fighting off some coyotes from up in the bed than I would be just laying out in the cot in the middle of the field here. So all this camping stuff takes up a lot more space than I imagined. I did recently transfer over from a minivan, and the minivan just had so much more space in it. So I'm really gonna have to think carefully about what I'm taking with me on these trips. So I met the owner of this coffee company a couple of weeks ago, and he gave me this bag. It's actually really tasty. It's got almost like a chocolatey flavor to it. I'm not much of a fancy coffee drinker, but this Bugle Call coffee is not bad at all. Well guys, if you love getting out and camping like this, please consider subscribing. This is one of my favorite kinds of content to make. It really is what drives this channel, whether I'm in my van or in my Jeep, camping, exploring, meeting new people, going new places. Those are the things that I love the most. The most important thing for me is to just make content that I enjoy and hopefully somebody else enjoys. after I finish my coffee, I'm gonna head home. I had a great time out here camping last night. It was great to get the cobwebs dusted off of some of my older camping gear. And it's also great to realize that I don't really want to sleep solo in the middle of a field in a cot. So hopefully next time I get out here, I'll have that new rooftop tent. Either way, I really appreciate you guys following me along for the ride, and I'll see you on my next adventure. So one thing about this Jeep Gladiator that I don't like is it turns like a 1970s roller skate. It has a huge turning radius, which is not the best or the most conducive to, you know, outdoor off-road exploration, because anytime I make a wrong turn or decide that I want to backtrack or go back to see something, I've got to do like a 10-point turn in this thing, and to me it's just comical. I probably should have gotten a Wrangler to do this job, but I really wanted to have this full room for my family back here. Maybe a 4-door Wrangler would have been the perfect vehicle, I don't know, but so far I am loving this Jeep Gladiator.